Please, or she's gonna cry. Like, nah.
We don't want her to cry. Morning, everybody.
Morning!
Yeah.
Morning!
Yeah. Playing tennis today. All right, Milo? How's that Rubik's Cube getting on? He's close to cracking it. So yesterday's question, how much spin is too little? Well, it depends on other factors, as a few people were getting, which was good to see. So it depends on ball speed, angle of attack, launch angle, and then you would work out optimum spin with those things, really. But watch this.
On 2 squares, there's only 1 corner wrong.
So let's look at a random session here. This is a student of mine called Stuart. So launch angle is dotting around from 7.9 degrees up to 14.9. Spins jumping from 1.9, 3 5s. Okay, here's another one. This is a guy called Terry. Launch angle 9 degrees, 8, 14, 16, 11, 12, 6.9, 16, 14, 15, 14, 11, 11. Optimize that, guys. You're talking about numbers that are such small differences when you should be talking about just trying to play more and get better at golf. So how much spin is too little? It's relative to the shot, but you need a certain amount of spin to keep the ball in the air is the general idea. Trouble is, strike is king, guys. So, today's question, what would you rather play? A beautiful links course, Turnberry, St Andrews, or a beautiful parkland course, Augusta, Pinehurst, those kind of things? Post those comments down there. Which would you rather play? Hit the subscribe button. What button, Orla?
The subscribe button.
That's the one, isn't it, Milo? Post a comment as well. Which one would you rather play? Right, I'm off on the bike, loaded with parcels, tennis bag, laptop, going to the post office, then up to work, then on to tennis. Somewhere in all this, I've got to edit this video. So we're going to look at today's swing. He hit pushes and push cuts is what he's saying. First thing we're going to do is we're going to have a look at his address position. I don't like the way he's leaning forward with his upper body to start, so we're just going to reassess that. Then what we're going to do, if we look at the top picture here, we see the club always working in this twisted position, so the face wants to point more up kind of to the sky here. There's a good chance he's going to deliver that face with not much loft, if he was just to make the kind of follow-throughs I would want him to make. So what he does in turn is he tries to deliver this high handle that we see often, and then the big shove out in front of him with his hands and the club on the way through. So he's doing everything he can to get some loft almost on that club, and also to try and make the ball not go too far left, because the way he's got that twisted, there's a good chance he could deliver that face close to the path, but he's choosing to override that with lie. And then on the bottom picture you'll see what people kind of call that idea of chicken wing, really trying to holding off the follow through to try and keep that face from pointing too far left of a path. So we're going to challenge his ideas of what this swing should feel like on the way through, and I think it'll completely change the way he hits the ball. Arrived at the range. It's a little wet. So first off, let's deal with this stance posture. So I want you to think about it this way. If I just stand up straight with my arms down by my side, so no tilts, no bends, what happens is if I put right hand lower than the left, then I naturally have this slight tilt in my shoulders this way. To see people setting up this way, to me shows an inability to see subtle lines. And in golf, you've got to be able to see subtle lines where you think you want your face to point, where you want your feet, shoulders, hips to point, the starting point for the ball, what curvatures you should get. All these little subtle starting points good players are really seeing. So simple idea, I want you just to introduce your right hand last. So get set up with your left hand and then put your right hand down by your right thigh and then just introduce it to the club from here. Just gives you those slight tilts. You'll get your spine angle going a little bit more this way rather than this way. It'll hopefully allow your hips just to kick forward a fraction, and then in turn just give you a better setup to start moving this swing idea around. Still raining, now off to tennis. Let's answer your questions.
Hey Mark, just sitting here in the car watching your latest course vlog, and I noticed you guys had a lot of mud balls in that round. I was wondering why you didn't just practice some winter rules and pick those up and clean them. Cheers, brah.
So mud balls, we did play winter rules, but you've got to be on a fairway to pick, place and clean is the rule. So any of the mud balls that you saw, which we didn't clean, would have been in the rough. And we were pretty rusty in that video. Matt had some good holes and then some bad ones. He hit some funny chips. My chipping was generally awful as it is at the minute. But what people weren't comprehending from that video is we were from the black tees, which makes that course play very long, no run. Early season in the UK, you do not get much grass under the ball, so basically all the chips, pitches and approach shots were played from kind of almost bare mud really, which shows the quality and lack of our striking on some of those occasions. But I think so many people, we talk about it amongst ourselves, I think so many people just see it all as the same, don't they? They can't read into the different seasons, different conditions, and I think that's where lots of people get frustrated with golf, because they don't move their expectations, because they don't quite understand how difficult this game can be in certain situations. Next, I want you to understand the relationship between your faced path control and your exit point on the way through. So there's two ways you can go around this, and I'm not fussed which one you use. Let me give you an idea. I'm going to twist the face to the left and take all the loft off it. Then what I'm going to do is try and hit target. And what happens is my follow through becomes this way. I do everything I can not to have the face pointing left and to try and get some loft. So I raise the handle and I do what we call hold off the club on the way through. Now your backswing, we see you twist the face to the sky. I can twist the face to the sky, like DJ does, and not have to do that on the way through. But what I do have to do is rotate my body massively and feel like my hands are really pulling across my body to get into any kind of impact position where the face doesn't feel like it's either going to be here, to the left, or me having to balance it with really high handles. It's a common pattern I see with students who raise the handle massively into impact. They struggle to control face to path. Push cuts, pull hooks, big cuts and straight shots. So the way I would go around it with you if I was teaching you is I would deal with this first. What happens is people often find a way once they start to control the dynamic lie. So I'm going to hit some shots here where I get my hands exiting low and left around my body. Now all those shots have hit target and they've gone pretty straight because I can feel that my face and path down at the bottom are still zero, so swinging at the target, but what I am controlling is this angle and this angle. That feeling exiting left around my body is stopping me getting my hands up and out like a cricket shot. And often when I do this with students, they lose a little bit of speed, but they gain masses in accuracy because they actually start feeling like they're just rotating their body with their arms connected to them to feel like they're hitting at the target rather than feeling any massive angles down at the bottom, which they obviously struggle to balance. The best game for them to play on the range is how straight can they hit the ball and how low and left can they exit. They'll be amazed how kind of Matt Kuchar they can finish and still hit target. It definitely sorts out their face to path control. Squirrel. And it gives them a whole new way of looking at golf shots from drivers to irons, kind of how they perceive path, face to path, directional shots. Now I mentioned there were two ways of doing this. The other way we could think about doing this, and I do this very rarely with students, only extreme cases, you would think about trying to get the face less twisted at the top to the sky. So think about trying to get the face, maybe toe end of the club more to the sky on the backswing. As they go up to the top of the backswing, I say try and feel like the toes down to the ground. They're not physicals, they're feelings. But if you do this way, you have to exit left with your hands. You have to exit low with the handle, otherwise the ball just goes miles right. So doing it the other way round, so the exit point first, often can tidy up their ideas of backswing and also shows people that they maybe don't need to worry about what's going on with that backswing. Right, me and the girls are off to get food. It's just us, so we're going out for tea.
Ryan Little.
There we go, that was fun guys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching everyone. What button should they hit, Orla?
Subscribe button.
What should they do with their thumbs for now? Thumb it up. And then they should also post comments on the question I asked this morning about links or Parkland, shouldn't they?
turn on the stage.
And you should go on the stage. Do your best dance that you would do on a stage.
Go on, do it.
Is that it?
Huh?